So with my XY chart, let's pick some X values to the right of that asymptote, some X values to the left of the asymptote. We'll go left and right. Okay, so let's see here, Kaylin, will you pick some numbers to the right of the asymptote? Here's my asymptote at 0. Pick some numbers to the right of 0. 2? Okay. You got to pick at least 3 of them, though. 2, 6, and 1. Is that what you said? What? 2, 6, and 9. All right. All right, let's see. We need some stuff on the other side of the asymptote now. I need some like some negatives over there. All right, so let's see here. Abigail, will you pick some numbers on the left side there? Let's see, is Abigail there? Nice, okay, so -2, -7, -9, there you go, okay. Oops. So I'm plugging these numbers in, 3 over x, but I'm changing the x into a 2 this time. Okay, these ones might be some pretty messy numbers. Did anybody find one that when they plug it in, it turns out nice and pretty? Yeah.
So for 1, I got 1. For 2, I got -1/2. For -1, I got -5, and for -2, I got -2.
Okay, so like, but your positive one and your negative one gave you nice pretty numbers, but the rest of them weren't really very pretty at all. Yeah, so as far as, remember last time we were trying to strategically choose the ones that made it look a little easier? Which I like to do things that way, but not always are there that many options that turn out all nice and pretty. Sometimes there are a few of them, but not every point I can do turns out pretty.
Prime numbers.
Yeah, exactly, the prime numbers. Okay, so let's see here. 3/9 minus 2, it's like a third minus 2. So I'm gonna get a negative number, right? 1/3 minus 2 is like a -5/3, like a -1.6 repeating. If you want to say a decimal, you can put it that way. My 3/6, that's like a half minus 2. It's like a -3/2. Or you could do like a -1.5 something. All right, 3/2 minus 2, it's like a 1.5 minus 2. Excuse me. So it's like a -1/2 or a -0.5. I'm going to plot these points here. X was 9, my Y was -1.6 repeating. Super close to the -2, but it's a little above it. At 6, I had a -1.5, not much higher. Let's see. At 2, we got a -0.5. All right, I see a little bit of the curve. I don't know about you guys, but I think I might want something a little closer to the asymptote just to see this curve a little better. So maybe I'll plug in like a 1 or like a 1/2 or something like that. You guys get what I'm saying? Just to kind of see the curve a little better. Maybe I'll put a 1 in here. 3 over 1 minus 2. 3 divided by 1 is 3, minus 2, okay, is 1. So that hits at a +1. Okay, all right, I'm starting to see the curve a little better here. It should be getting really close to the asymptote, not crossing it though, not touching it all. So here we go. Sorry for my terrible drawing. There we go. We do not touch the asymptote though. All right, let's get some stuff on the left side. Can you guys tell where it would be? Would it be like top left or bottom left?
Bottom left.
Well, okay, based off the parent function from last time. This is what we did last time. Here was my parent function. They were pretty much diagonal from each other every time. Those curves were diagonal from each other. So yeah, I think I would go with like this bottom left. I know it's going to be over here. I need to hit some specific points though. All right, so with the -2, 3, oops, well, there we go. 3 divided by -2 minus 2. It's like a negative 1.5 minus 2, so like a negative 3.5.
Question.
What's up?
Where do we, for the axis, like the
Uh-huh.
y and the x, we're shifting it down, right? So
I'm not necessarily shifting where the x-axis is, but I did shift where the asymptote was. The asymptote used to be on the x-axis, but it shifted down to a -2. So this doesn't count as 0.
Oh, okay.
That is the y value -2.
But when we're counting like 1, 1 would be instead basically like different because, or,
The 0.11 was still based off of the black, the x-axis and y-axis.
oh, then what does the yellow one do? I'm just trying to figure out what the yellow one is.
The yellow stuff are my asymptotes, the stuff that I should be approaching but not touching or crossing. So like when I made this curve, notice how it got really close to that yellow line, got really close to the asymptote, but I did not go over here onto the left side of it. So the asymptotes are what I approach but do not touch or cross. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I plugged in my -2. I'm gonna plug in my -7. All right, very, very messy. All right, should we get the decimal form of that? Let's mess with this. Let's get the decimal form. All right, 3 divided by a -7 minus 2. So I got a -2.48, blah, blah, blah. It's almost like -2.5, close. -7, x value got -2.5. There we go. And at -9, it's like a -1/3 minus 2. So -2 1/3, which, you know what? It still looks like a straight line. I don't know about you guys. It's like closer to -2, but this still, I can't really see the curve on this. Maybe let's plug in like the -1. When I plug in a -1, let's see, 3 divided by -1 minus 2. It's like a -3 minus 2, so a -5. Let's see here, -1, -5. Okay, I think I can see the curve a little better now. And I'm gonna connect the dots. This was just like almost straight. It wasn't perfectly straight, but almost. And then now I can see the sharper curve here. Oops. Gets really close to the asymptote, does not touch or cross though. Okay, there we go. Okay, any questions? For those of you guys can do this on your own. Plot the graph. I think they also asked me to state the domain and range. Okay, domain has to do with x's. Notice that my vertical asymptote said x does not equal 0. And then my domain is going to be pretty much the exact opposite. It's going to say, or sorry, the asymptote says x equals 0. Domain says x does not equal 0. Domain has to do with my x's, right? Like I hit all the x's to the left of the asymptote. I hit all the x's to the right of the asymptote. I just didn't actually hit the asymptote. I just didn't equal a 0. But I had everything other than that. Same thing for my range. The range is going to come off of this horizontal asymptote. So instead of y equals -2, like the asymptote, it's going to say everything except for y value 2. So y does not equal -2. Okay, questions on domain and range? For those of you guys can do this on your homework? Nice, okay, very similar to the last notes. We're gonna build on that though. Number 3, we've gotta combine the synthetic division that we were looking at, or long division, either way. I gotta deal with the division, and then turn it into what I was doing on number 2, turn it into all the transformations, and do the graph. So let's see here. I'll put this in purple here. I'm gonna do you guys want synthetic or do you want long division? Let me know.
Synthetic.
You want synthetic? Okay.
Synthetic.
Which in that case, we like synthetic? Okay. I'm gonna take the denominator and I'm gonna set it equal to 0. So I add 3 over x equals 3. 3 goes in my box here. Am I gonna have to do like I did in purple up here? Am I gonna have to divide by something? No, how
No.
come?
Because it's a whole number.
A whole, okay, so the stuff that I had in purple up here, I underlined the 4x. If there was something multiplied by my x, that was what I had to divide by. I don't have anything, I guess it's multiplied by 1, but do I really need to divide by 1? No. So for that reason, I'm not going to have to deal with what I did on number 1, where I divide that number over.
I love not dealing with things.
So I'm just going to bring down the first number, multiply by what's in the box, and add straight down. There we go. Which means I've got 2 plus my remainder over the divisor. Okay, some people prefer to see the 7 over x minus 3 plus 2. Honestly, they're totally equal to each other, right? You can add in whatever order you want. So either of these are totally fine. All right, so that's what we did on number 1. And then that kind of kicks us down to number 2, where I do all the transformations and kind of start graphing it now. All right, so notice that I put in yellow any shifting up, down, left, right. And I think I've got
They're
2 of
shifting
yellow.
up 2 and then right 3.
Okay, that shifts the entire graph up 2. This minus 3 shifts the entire graph right 3. Okay. Now the other transformation I had, I do have the 7. That is another transformation. That would be a vertical stretch by 7. But I didn't put it in yellow because it's not going to affect the asymptotes. It's all of my translations, my shifting up, down, left, right. That's what will affect the asymptotes. So if I shift everything to the right by 3, honestly, my horizontal line goes left and right forever. It's not going to affect that. It's the vertical asymptote it's going to affect. So usually the vertical asymptote is right on the y-axis, but that's going to go to the right by 3. So over here at a positive 3, there's the vertical asymptote now. All right, my horizontal asymptote, again, the solid line there, that is usually the parent function. It's on the x-axis, but we're shifting everything up 2. So instead of right on the x-axis, we're going up to the y value of positive 2. Ooh, man, you guys didn't catch this. I had x equals 0, and then I had y equals 3. I was off by a little bit. This was supposed to say x equals 3. There we go. The other one says y equals 2. All right. All right, so then I need to plot some points to the left and right of the x value of 3. Make a little chart down here. My x values. 3 is where the asymptote is, so I can't plug in the 3 itself, but I do need to plug in some numbers bigger than 3 and some numbers smaller than 3. All right, so strategically, I'm going to look at this equation here. If I'm dividing by x minus 3, I think I like to divide by 4 minus 3, because 4 minus 3 is 1. I can divide by 1. And I got the 7 divided by all this stuff. That's kind of a pain, right? Because like 7's this prime number. Dividing by other stuff is going to be messy. So I figured out the 4 would give me a nice whole number, but everything else, or most of the other numbers, not going to be so pretty. So maybe I'll put like, I don't know, maybe I'll put like a 6. Honestly, if you chose a 7 or 8, whatever, you're just going to get the shape of this graph. Maybe I'll plug in like a 10. Actually, I think 10 works because 10 minus 3 is 7. Okay, I can do 7 divided by 7. All right. Let's see here. What else do I want to go with? Maybe I'll go with on the other side of 3. So it's still some positive numbers. There's still like a positive 1, positive 2. There's still some positive numbers on this left side of the asymptote. Maybe I'll plug in like a 2. Let's go in here. All right, so that means like 2 minus 3 is a negative 1. I can divide by negative 1. That's no big deal. Maybe I'll sub in a 0. A lot of times people think 0 makes things a little easier. What about, let's see, I think I'm going to choose a negative 4. Because negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. 7 divided by negative 7. Okay, that's a nice, pretty whole number. Okay. So let's plug these in. Let's see, Maya, will you plug in the positive ones? Plug in the 10, the 6, and the 4. Let me know what you get. And then let's see here. Alani, will you plug in the 2, 0, and -4? Nice, just let me know what you got. I'll start plotting those points. All right, just let me know what you get whenever you guys are ready. I think a couple of them are pretty whole numbers, but not all of them. Three, a 4 1/3. And then what was when you plugged in the 4, what'd you get? 9, okay. Nice, nice. So 2, you got a -0.5, good, good. Wait, hang on, 2 minus 3 is a -1. So wait, hang on, let me see that 2 real quick. 7 over 2 minus 3 plus 2. So it's like 7 divided by a -1 plus 2, which 7 divided by -1 is -7. And -7, oh, I think we just don't need the decimal. -7 plus 2 is a -5. So I think it's just straight up -5. We just didn't need the decimal there. Let's see, Elena, you okay with that? Okay, you're good, you're good. So yeah, now adjust this 2 now. You're gonna plug in your 0, so 7 over 0 minus 3 plus 2. Let me know what you get. So while you're at it, I'm gonna start plotting the other points. So there's my point 10, 3. Let's see, 6 and then 4 1/3. So a little over a 4. I got the point 4, 9. All right, all right. So I got this stuff on the right side. Okay, it does not cross the asymptotes. All right. So then, Alana, you got your 0 plugged in? It's probably a decimal on that one, actually. Oh, like a -0.3. Okay, so at 0, you get a -0.3 between your 0 and 1 there. All right, looking good, looking good. Okay, 0.3 repeating, okay. And then let's plug in our -4, because I need like at least 3 points for each of the curves, right? If I just get 2 points, it looks like this would be like a straight line. I need to get at least a 3rd point, maybe more, to kind of see the curve. All right, so then this one, when you plugged in the -4, let's see, -4 minus 3 is a -7. I think this one turns out to be a whole number again, because 7 divided by -7 is a -1. So I got this whole number. -1 plus 2 is 1. Let's see, Alani, are you okay with this? Yeah, we're good. Okay. So the point -4, 1. Okay, I'm starting to see the curve a little better now. So I'm going to connect these dots and not cross the asymptotes. All right. There we go. All right, next or last bit here, the domain and range. All right, so if I already have the asymptotes, I should be able to get the domain and range. All right, so let's see here. Jesh, what's my domain? And then Tabitha, I'll come to you in a sec for the range. Oh, okay, so almost, Jesh. It's almost negative infinity to infinity, except for it skips one number. My domain, like my x's, if you look at your x-axis here, there's one number that it skips. So I have to say x does not equal a specific number. So it's everything except for what? Ooh, I think you're looking at the other asymptote. Yeah, the 3, there you go. Because, you know, my domain has to do with x's and my asymptote was at the line x equals 3. So domain is then everything except for the x value 3. So x does not equal 3. Does that make any sense? Okay, we're good. Nice. Okay, so then Tabitha, I'm going to come to you for the range. Tabitha, what's your range? Let's see, is Tabitha there? Can you just let me know you heard me? Just so I know. Okay, cool. Awesome, so Tabitha, we're looking at the range. What's the range? So like if you look at the range on the previous one, it said range is y does not equal -2. So what's the range on this one? Okay, y does not equal the +2 because my horizontal asymptote was y does equal a +2. So you did kind of the exact opposite. Y does not equal the +2. Nice, there's your range. Okay, looks good. Do you guys have any questions on this? No? For rules, it's just combining those two different things. Combining your dividing polynomials and then your graphing. So let's try number 4. We can do this again. I think there is one extra thing going on number 4. All right, so let's see here. So Allie, would you prefer to do synthetic division or long division? You want to do synthetic? Okay, so if I do synthetic, I set the denominator equal to 0. Let's see. Add the 1 over, divide by -1. So x equals -1. That's what goes in the box. All right, and then I've got a -3 and a 2. Okay, so I bring down the -3, multiply by what's in the box, and add straight down. Okay. So then this gives me, let's see, -3 plus 5 over, and I was dividing by -x plus, or sorry, -x minus 1. There we go. Okay, so on number 3, I didn't have to deal with what I did on number 1. I didn't have to like take care of this number that was multiplied by the x and divide it out.
It's -1, right?
Oh, I do have that case here?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, yeah, it's a -1x minus 1. That's my negative x. It's like a -1x. So I got to take care of this -1. I got to divide this by -1. So I actually get a +3. And I don't have to divide my remainder. I said divide that -3 by -1, got a +3. Okay, any questions? For reals, this is where I see the mistake. So like, Anything I can clarify? No questions. Okay. I'm gonna move on then. You can rewrite this if you want. You can put the 5 over negative x minus 1. You can put that first and then the plus 3. Either way is the same thing. All right, so I took care of the purple stuff. And let's figure out any translations, translating like shifting, up, down, left, right. This gets a little tricky. It's been a while since we've done this. Jacob, do you see one of them? One of the translations, excuse me?
Horizontal.
Horizontal, which way? Oh, horizontal, what was that?
Reflection.
The reflection. Okay, so that is not a translation, it is a transformation though. What showed you that there was a horizontal reflection?
There was a negative on the X.
Oh, the negative on the X right here. Okay. That is a horizontal reflection. Nice, which that reflection does not change where my asymptotes are. That's why I didn't put it in yellow. What about, let's see. What about any of my shifting, my translation, shifting up, down, left, right? Do you guys see any of those? Yeah. Up 3, and do you have another one? Right 1, okay, so let me see. Plus 3 is shifting everything up 3. And honestly, you picked the tricky one. That minus 1 right there. Usually that would shift me to the right by 1. That's if it was a plain x minus 1, but it's a negative x minus 1. If I factor out that negative, yeah, there you go. It's just going the opposite direction. So yeah, this actually is going to shift. I'm going to look at this as a plus 1 right here. It's going to shift everything to the left by 1. All right, and the only other transformation we have is this 5. That was a vertical stretch by 5, which is true, and I can see it once I graph it, but it's not going to change my asymptotes at all. The stuff I put in yellow changes the asymptotes. Okay, so yeah, Crystal, Kate, I know you guys are saying this is a lot, which it is, but it's putting together stuff we've seen in the past. We've seen transformations before. We've seen either synthetic division or long division before. So this is stuff we've seen before. We're just kind of reaching back to it. All right, so I'm actually going to graph the asymptotes first, and then I do the curves. All right, so shifting up 3 is going to take my horizontal asymptote up 3. So from 0, I went up to the positive 3. Okay, that's my horizontal asymptote. My vertical asymptote is usually at 0, but I'm shifting to the left by 1, so it goes to the left over to a negative 1. So x equals negative 1. All right, so once I get the asymptotes, okay, now I can go ahead and like start graphing the curves. So for the curves, this is where I do my little XY chart, and I strategically pick numbers to the left and right of the asymptote. So maybe I'll pick, let's see, something bigger than negative 1. Maybe I'll pick like a 4. I think the 4 will work out nice. But this 5, that's a prime number. That's going to be kind of a pain in the butt to plug numbers in for. The rest are not going to be all that pretty. Maybe I'll pick like a 2 and a 0. 0, that'll work. The asymptote is at negative 1 though, so I'm not going to plug a negative 1 in. And then I'll pick some numbers over here. So some stuff to the left of negative 1. Maybe I'll go like negative 2, sure. Negative 4, maybe. Let's see. I think I'm gonna do a negative 6. Isn't negative 6, so positive 6. And then minus 1 is 5. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm gonna plug that one in, get a nice pretty whole number. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's see here. Aaron, will you plug in the positives, the 4, the 2, and the 0? Aaron, are you there, hon? Okay. Maybe Aaron's not there. So we're gonna plug in these x values. We gotta plug in a 4 for x, we gotta plug in a 2 for x, a 0, and you got these negatives we gotta plug in. We're gonna plug these in for x. All right, so let's see, let me try this again. MK, will you plug in the 4, the 2, and the 0?
Yeah,
Okay.
I already got
Okay.
them, so.
Okay, give me just a sec here. And then let's see here. Jessica, will you plug in the negatives, the -2, -4, -6? Awesome. So I'll try to highlight. You can either plug it into this one that I highlighted up top where it has 3 plus the fraction, or you can plug it into this one where it's the fraction plus 3, either one. The -2, the -4, and the -6. Yep. These negative numbers down here. Okay. All right, so I think MK, you were saying you already plugged in the 4 and the 2 and the 0. Okay, so what y values did you get?
So for 4, I got -4. For 2, I got -4.6 repeating, and then for 0, I got -8.
-8. Okay, I'm gonna plot these. All right. And then you can just let me know whenever you're done. So I'm gonna plot my 4, -4. Let's see here. So this, okay, here's what's making me think. 4, -4, that's right here, right? But doesn't it usually get pretty close to the asymptotes? Let me check this out real quick.
Okay.
That's okay. Well, I'm just gonna check this out. 3 plus 5 over a negative, and I'm putting a 4 in, right? -4 minus 1, which -4 minus 1 is a -5. 5 divided by -5 is -1. And 3 plus oh, okay. 3 plus -1 is 2.
Did I put it in wrong?
I think it was probably,
I put a parenthesis around the 4 when I inputted it. Was I not supposed to?
did you do it like this or like this?
That one.
This one? That should be fine. Let me see here. If I do a, oops, come on. 3 plus 5 divided by, and then you did in parentheses, you did the -4, right? So I think the problem with that, actually, if you do it like this,
I got 2. I think I put it in wrong. I
okay.
think it was 2.
So it's a 2, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Like a +2?
Yeah.
Okay. So we check out the other one.
Yeah.
That's
I think
good.
I just had something wrong.
That's okay. Yeah, just adjust those and I'll start plotting these points here. So I got the point 4.2. Okay, there's that one. A little closer to the asymptote. Are you getting yours?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
I got
1.3. So at the x value -3, your y value was 1.3? A positive 1.3? Okay. So -4 give you a 2. 2.29 like that. Okay, so here's what I'm a little concerned about. So see the black ones that I have right here? Aren't they like diagonal to each other? So if I plot these, 1.3, let's see here, between my 1 and my 2, -4, if that was a 2, or 2.29, so this would be kind of over here. They would be like right next to each other, which they're supposed to be diagonal of each other, right? So that's what's making me think there's something a little off. I can't tell what it is, but I think there's something a little off. Let me check and see how we put this in the calculator here. So when you put your -2 in, it's like a -2, right? So this is, see, let's see, it's a positive 2 minus 1, which is a positive, it's like 5 over 1. I'm gonna have to erase these, but does that kind of make sense what it triggered in my head? How I was like, wait, something's a little off. So I think this one actually turns out as an 8. Will you look and see how to put it in the calculator? Oh, the negative in the parentheses like this? Okay, so I'm gonna change this one into an 8. Will you adjust the other ones and let me know what you get? Okay. So -2, +8, that actually makes me think we're a little better. We're kind of in these diagonal sections there, which I want. Okay. Let's see, MK, did you get the next points here?
Yeah, so for 2, I got 1.3.
Okay, at +2, you got a 1.3. All right.
0, I got -2.
0, -2. Okay, so I'm starting to see that little curve here.
Yeah.
And it's all in the same section that we were looking for, so good, that's good. All right, you said this was, you said -2, right? Okay. All right, and then, so then when you plug in the -4, what'd you get when you plugged in the -4? $4.6, okay. And then when you plug in the -6? Okay, I plotted that one. I need to see the curve though. I need like at least a third point, maybe more than that. You got a straight up 4 right there? At -6, 4. All right, I can start to see that little curve there. All right, I do not cross the asymptotes. There we go. Last little bit is the domain and range. All right, so let's see here. Thomas, does the domain have to do with X's or Y's? X's, yeah. So put them, if you want to, you can put them in like alphabetical order. Domain and range, D comes first, then range, right? Yeah, domain is X's, left and right. Yeah, so because this asymptote is X equals -1, what's the domain on this? So not necessarily less than, I am gonna have to use the -1 though, that's true. So look what I have over here. Did I have what symbol did I have on that one? Not equal to, okay, so it's like X does not equal what the asymptote is. So X does not equal the -1, which means my range has to do with Y values. So keep it going. What's the range on this particular one? Not equal, is it X or Y that's not equal to 3? Y, nice, very good. Y does not equal 3. There's your range. Okay, yep, there we go. Do I have any questions before I move on? There's one more problem. I'm not even going to solve it. I just want to point something out on it. Do you guys have any questions on this?
What are the domain and range for number 3? Oh, wait, never mind. Sorry.
Okay, so we're good? All right, if we're good on this, I'm just going to point out one thing. The last bit here, this is similar to stuff on your homework. The only thing they did differently really is they wrote it out in words as opposed to just giving you a straight up equation. But it still says rewrite this g of x in the form of a over x minus h. I'm not done yet. Chill out, people. To turn this into that format, I have to do division. I have to do either synthetic division or long division. I don't care what type of division, but you got to do some type of division to turn it into that format. And it's pretty much going to go the same way all the other graph ones did. They just worded it a little differently. Okay, any questions? For reals? No more questions? Okay, your homework is on big ideas. Ready, set, go.